Today we're talking about static ads. One of the most underrated ways to actually scale in 2025 is being able to master this one thing, creating winning static ads. And if you stick around through this video, I'm going to show you my personal library of favorite static ads as of right now. I'm also going to show you how to validate those static ads to ensure that they're actually performing, so that way you're not copying some kind of garbage. And more importantly, I'm going to show you how to use one AI tool that will literally duplicate these ads for your brand exactly, so that way you can just download them, upload them into your Facebook ad account, and basically have the exact same ads that are absolutely crushing for big 8 and 9-figure brands. So let's go ahead and dive in. As you can see on screen, we are looking at some static ads, and we are doing that through a tool called Atria. Now, I want to clarify right away, this video is actually not sponsored by Atria at all. They did not ask me to make this. This is literally a tool that I've been using for over a year now. And if you are interested in using this, you can use the link below. And yes, there is a discount for you. But the point is that this is a tool that I use every single day because I like it. And not only is it actually better than some of the other tools out there, there's actually some pretty insane features, like I said in the beginning, that you will be able to leverage as a result of using Atria. So with that said, let's go ahead and talk about static ads. Why are some static ads that look like every other static ad, what actually makes them good? How do you actually make static ads that really stand out and really drive performance? Well, that's a great question. And the reason why a lot of your static ads fail is because they're actually harder to make compared to videos. And what I mean by that is for you to actually grab someone's attention and basically get them interested enough to actually click the ad and still have conversion intent within 2 to 3 lines on a headline is pretty hard to do. Whereas if you have a video, you have, 10 to 20 to sometimes 10 minutes, depending on what kind of videos you're running, to actually explain and talk about your product or the story behind it and all of the other little details to actually provide someone the information that they need to confidently make a purchase. Whereas with static ads, well, it's a little bit harder because of the fact that you don't have a ton of space to work with and you don't really have the ability to keep someone watching something. A static has to grab someone's attention and it has to convince them to click within the first 1 to 3 seconds of them looking at it. So when we go through and take a look at some of these statics, some of you guys might look at these and be like, well, I don't really see anything crazy about this. And that is a problem, because the number one reason why you can't make static ads that actually scale is because you don't know what good looks like. And so again, as part of this video, that is my goal, to help you understand that. So as you can see on screen here, we are taking a look at around 20 plus ads, and I'm going to start down at the bottom and I'm actually going to go through as many of these ads as I can. And again, just as a reminder, if you keep watching until the end, I'm literally going to show you how you can replicate these ads exactly and how to actually do it in a way that makes sense. So that way you're not just getting crushed by your competition, because what a lot of you guys do is you do research on your direct competition and then you copy their ads and then you're like, well, why aren't they working? Well, it's because your competition is already running them and it's probably working for them. So when people see a duplicate of it, well, who do you think is going to win? The ad that was already there or your ad that's probably not as good? So let's start down here with an ad from David's Protein. Okay. A lot of you guys might look at this ad and you might be, okay, the final protein bar, here it is, it's got PDCAAs, protein, calories, sugar. Great. Right? Now, a lot of you guys look at this and you might just be like, well, what's so special about this? And as you guys saw, there is a sneaky little hover here that says clone ad, which is what I'm actually going to show you guys how to do. But a lot of you, again, will look at this and not really see what is happening. And the reason why I say that is because you don't actually understand marketing fundamentals. See, when I look at this ad, I know straight away exactly why this is working. So let's go ahead and break that down. Well, number one, let's talk about the headline, the final protein bar. When you make a statement that bold, you have to be able to back it up. And again, that's also a problem with a lot of you guys, is you try to make image ads that don't have bold statements. If you're going to make an image ad, make it bold and make it stand out, because again, that is what's really going to grab someone's attention. So if I take a look at this and I see the final protein bar, I'm thinking like, okay, well, these guys are saying they're the best. Why are they the best? Well, let's go ahead and take a look. Well, they have 28 grams of protein for 150 calories. And if you don't know David's Protein, they claim that their ratio of calorie to protein is the best out of any other protein bar out there. So you're able to get 28 grams of protein through 150 calories. That's pretty good for people that are calorie cutting and still trying to get lots of protein. Now, the actual showstopper here that some of you may not understand is this guy right here who is absolutely jacked. And most importantly, he is holding the protein bar between his back muscles. And now a lot of you might just think, oh yeah, well, protein, guy works out, cool, right? But here, this emphasizes the desire visually without actually having to say anything. They are making associations that if you eat David's protein, you can have the same back muscles as this guy and you can look like this guy. Now, they're not saying that, but subconsciously, that is what's happening. In the minds of a protein or a heavy protein consumer, they are associating that this dude being jacked is with David's protein. And so they are, again, subconsciously helping you make a connection that you can get jacked, which is the desire and the outcome that people who are consuming David's protein actually want with the actual protein bar, right? And again, it just makes it such a bold claim, and the dark lighting behind this as well makes it even more bold. And again, the little call outs here of 0 grams of sugar, 150 calories, and 28 grams of protein are all things that their customer is going to value. Now, something that is extremely underrated is actually the primary copy up here. And it's something that I'm actually going to talk a little bit more about. But just as an example of how I see this ad, and to help you guys see ads a little bit differently, you have to ask, why would someone care about this? And then more importantly, you have to understand what this does to someone emotionally and what this does to them by learning the marketing fundamentals, learning things like avatars and desires and awareness levels, okay? The protein bar industry is a very sophisticated industry. There are so many different protein bars. And so by this ad coming out and claiming that they are the final protein bar, that they are the best, well, as you can imagine, that's going to stand out in a pretty sophisticated industry, and it's also going to build a lot of brand, and it's also going to establish them as an authority in the protein bar space, okay? So that is just one ad, all right? And we could spend tons of time, but the reason why I wanted to show this ad here is because this is an example of what I would say the first type of static ad that does really well, and that is a bold call out static ad. Okay, so that is one example. Now, the next example over here, and you can see there's another one here by David's Protein, but I'm going to take a look at this 8 Sleep one here. And the reason why I really love this ad from 8 Sleep is because it leverages statistics. Okay, and so as you can see here, this is an ad that again just hits on all of the core marketing fundamentals that you need to understand. So let's go ahead and break this down. 54% of women experience significant sleep disturbances from hot flashes. That is a very bold claim. And again, what does this do? Now, unlike David's Proteins ad, this is not a bold claim. This is simply a statistic that emphasizes why you would need this product. But more importantly, it does 2 things. Number one, it proves that they are an authority because they have done the research and they are providing a statistic that is actually real around what their specific avatar, women who experience sleep disturbances from hot flashes, which is a very large avatar, what they actually experience, okay? And it resonates specifically with them. And then if we go down a little bit deeper, you can see the pod keeps you cool all night, every night. Now, you might be wondering, what is the pod? And that is the exact thing that 8 Sleep wants you to do. And now, again, if we look up here and we pay attention to the actual body copy, again, the body copy is used to explain what is happening in the ad, okay? So what is the pod? Well, the pod 5 transforms any bed into an intelligent adaptive environment, automatically adjusting temperature throughout the night to maximize sleep performance and optimize health. Now, I have an understanding of what the pod is, but even then, I'm probably going to want to learn more. But the point of this is this is an incredibly clear ad, number one, for this specific avatar, but number two, again, it positions them as an authority. And on top of that, if you look at the visual, it's kind of interesting. You're like, wait, what does this pod do? It's like running through the bed, it's running through the sheets, and it shows this idea of a new mechanism. Now, again, David's Protein and 8 Sleep are massive brands for a reason. They have an incredible product. But the point is we can take away from this that leveraging statistics and directly relating those statistics to my specific avatar is a great way to actually, again, prove that we are an authority and actually convince someone to come and purchase our product. Now, if we scroll through a bit more, I want to talk about one of my favorite brands recently, which is Grunz. Now, for those of you that don't know Grunz, again, they are just an absolute behemoth right now in the e-commerce space and are growing literally faster than anybody. And I want to show you guys a couple of ads, and you'll notice, again, here's another statistics ad. And if you see commonalities in winning ads between different brands, there's probably a reason for that. It's because it works, right? So here's another statistics style ad of 40 to 50% of adults over 60 have vitamin D deficiency. Again, proving themselves as an authority. You'll notice over here as well, this is a really great one where, again, we are providing new information where Grun says, did you know your gut health affects your mood, not just your digestion? Another one over here, as you can see, is kind of a question style ad where it says, could my kid's gut health be affecting their immune system, right? 70% of immune strengths start in the gut. Cubs helps build strong defense. And so these are, again, 3 more examples of them being an authority in their space and providing actual information and new information to the user, okay? But with that said, the one that I want to review for Grun specifically is this ad right here. And I absolutely love this ad because this just clearly shows the understanding of their customer, okay? And this is why research is so important, okay? If you are not doing research to better understand your customer, that is why your static ads are not that good. What actually makes static ads good is a incredibly deep understanding of your avatar and of your customer, but more importantly, also of the product and your industry in general. We talked about the statistic ads. Most people don't know, again, if we were to reference the 8 sleep example, the percentage of hot flashes that occur during the night that cause sleep disturbances. That is so niche and so specific, yet it is a huge thing. And if you have that information, you can leverage it to emphasize why people should purchase your product, right? And so my point with this is that you can look at these static ads all day, but if you don't actually have the information around your specific customer and your specific avatar, and you don't have deep market research around your product and what it does, you're not going to be able to make great static ads. But going back to the Grun's example here, you can see this headline is just so good because it directly focuses on one of the biggest pain points that parents face. And they indirectly call out parents by using this headline exactly. Grun's in their lunchbox means veggies without the fuss. Easy to carry packs, 60 plus whole food ingredients, 21 plus vitamins and minerals. And what I want to show here in this image is just a perfect example of what kids would freak out about, right? They have this like stale looking grainy bread, they have raw broccoli, and they have it in a lunchbox that every parent probably knows that whenever they send that lunchbox out, it just comes back exactly like that. And then here you can see they have these fun little gummy bears that kids obviously love. And again, this is an ad that has been running for 123 days, which I'm going to talk about why just because an ad is running for a long time doesn't mean it's great. And you're going to see that in the next example. But what I love about this headline is that it really dives deep into this idea of a new mechanism. Okay. And so when you put these fun gummy bears in their lunchbox, they're getting veggies without the fuss. And that is what parents want. They don't want to have to deal with kids complaining about getting their vegetables or getting their vitamins and minerals. And every parent knows that that is just a headache, right? And again, they hit that down even further. Goodbye picky eating, hello healthy kids. Grun's Cubs are packed with essential veggies and fruits, delicious, easy, and fuss-free, right? So fuss-free is just, it's a word that I absolutely love because parents know that their kids throw hissy fits and cause a big fuss about having to eat their vegetables. But more importantly, they tie back why it's important because they say it's perfect for supporting growth, energy, and immune health. And so this is a really great ad that, again, just clearly shows the understanding of their customer, not only visually, but also with a very strong headline by saying, hey, if you put this in the lunchbox instead, they're going to get their veggies without, the fuss or without having to deal with the headaches of kids not wanting to take it. And so this is just a world-class example of a brand that understands their customer. And if you go deeper into Grunge as well, you'll notice that their understanding of their customer is just absolutely sensational. So let's go ahead and look at another ad. Now, you might be looking at this ad thinking, well, hey, Spencer, this ran for 3 days. How is this a winning ad? I thought winning ads are all about ads that are still active and are still running. Well, the reason why I know this is actually a winning ad is because of an incredible tool that you've maybe seen on the channel before, but if you're brand new, it is a tool called AdSpy. Now, what is AdSpy? Well, AdSpy is essentially an extension that allows you to look at some brands on a bit of a granular level, okay? So essentially, you can go through and you can leverage Atria to then go deeper into AdSpy to actually validate if specific ads are winning ads. And a lot of times the top winning ads for brands are actually not what appear to be the top winning ads in Atria, because the way that we actually filter through ads on AdSpy is by leveraging shares. And so as you can see here, and I want to give a big shout out to Hollow Socks, because not only are they a huge inspiration for what we're building at our agency and how their owner, Zach, who is an absolute savage. And if you've ever seen him on Twitter, or if you ever have gone to his YouTube channel, I would definitely recommend checking them out because he is a beast. What he's done with this brand is incredible, and there's definitely something for everybody to learn. But what I want to say here is that, as you can see, by filtering by shares and also filtering by media type photo, I can actually see that this is one of their top ads. Okay, and I can see tired of achy swollen legs, meet our new compression socks. Again, 14 hours, no swelling, and I can see that there were over 987 shares, 10,000 likes, 997 comments. So this is an ad that is definitely crushing for them, even though Atria is saying that it only ran for 3 days. And this is probably just one variation. They likely duplicated this, maybe tested a new landing page, maybe tested a different campaign type, whatever it may be. But I know that this is a winning ad. So let's go ahead and break this down. Okay, 14 plus hours, no swelling. Now, here is what I love about static ads as well, is that it forces you to write a lot more creatively. A very junior or very average copywriter might write a headline that says, you can wear these socks for over 14 hours and you won't feel any swelling, right? And you might write that out, but the problem is it's not bold. It's too wordy. It fills up the page and it just doesn't look good. And it doesn't really have that oomph to it, if you know what I mean. And so if we take a look at this ad here, we can see they directly say 14 plus hours, no swelling. Again, that is a massively bold claim that is going to stop someone's scroll. And if we look down here, they've called out reduces swelling, improves blood circulation, enhances performance, and provides all-day comfort. And now again, going back up to the body copy here, a lot of you guys are not putting an emphasis on this, okay? The body copy seriously has an impact, especially if you're marketing on Facebook and your feeds, if you go to breakdown in your ad account and you see that Facebook feeds have a lot of spend, well, this is something that you guys need to dial in. So again, tired of achy, swollen legs, meet our new alpaca compression socks. And here's what I love about this as well, is that they are leveraging new as a way to actually stand out and to separate themselves and almost give this customer new hope. And if you look at this, you can see alpaca compression socks almost kind of acts like a new mechanism, because the user might be reading this thinking, well, what are alpaca compression socks? Like, I've heard of compression socks, but what are alpaca compression socks? And so from there's a curiosity, and guess what? The person is actually going to click through to the ad. And again, this is exactly what we just talked about being bold. Again, the goal of doing these ads and looking at these ads is to actually learn from them, right? What are the patterns that we can spot? And again, this is another example of a winning ad that is bold. 14 plus hours, no swelling. That is a strong claim. And again, they're grabbing the person's attention to come and click this ad. Now, as we scroll up here, we're going to start to get into some actual ads around supplements. And now supplements, I think, are honestly my favorite niche to look at, because for you to be bold and for you to find ads that can actually work in the supplement space, you really have to know your customers. And so one little call out that I wanted to mention, and we're actually going to open Rise Superfoods over here, because maybe you don't want to pay for AdSpy and you don't want to, go through and filter through all that kind of stuff. What you can do as a way to also spot winning ads is you can come into Atria, you can go into active, and you can sort by longest running. And again, for the sake of this, we're going to do a complete breakdown on image only, which, by the way, if you guys are enjoying this and you want to see a video breakdown, maybe let me know in the comments down below and I can potentially put together a video breakdown. That might be like a 2-hour long video. But with that said, jumping back into the screen here, I want you to scroll through and I want you to look at specific headlines that you see come up over and over again. So for example, here you can see naturally stronger blood flow from head to toe. And then over here we have, again, naturally stronger blood flow from head to toe. If you start to see specific headlines being used over and over again in ads that are running for quite some time, that's usually a signal that that headline is working. And an even more obvious one here is free spoon plus shipping. Again, look how many times this headline pops up. 1, 2, 3. This has, again, free spoon again. And if we scroll down a little bit further, free spoon, free spoon. If we scroll down again, free spoon and shipping, right? And so if you start to see headlines pop up multiple times, probably means that it's working, okay? Because they're trying and doing different iterations on it to see what specific visuals will work better. Now, if we jump back over here, I couldn't find the exact ad in Atria that I had found on AdSpy. Now, I did give it to the community over in Evolve, but if you take a look here, you can see lose weight even if you cheat. This is another incredible ad here, and the visual they used was somewhat similar, but I wanted to call out this ad specifically because what I love about it is that it uses the Hormozi value equation. Now, if you don't remember what the Hormozi value equation is, this is it here, okay? It's dream outcome times perceived likelihood of achievement divided by time delay times effort and sacrifice, okay? And so we talked about time delay in one of my landing page videos that I actually did a few weeks ago, which brings up an entirely different point that I don't want to get caught too much in, because if you are running static ads, your landing page is crucial to actually having it convert higher. So if you are not focused on your landing page, you 1000% need to dial in on that. And after you watch this video, make sure you go check out that landing page video. It should be somewhere on screen here, and make sure you go and get that after you watch this. So that way you can actually leverage all of the traffic that your new static ads are going to be driving. But with that said, what I love about what Rise has done here is they've attacked this right here, which is effort and sacrifice. And again, this just comes down to really understanding and knowing your avatar. So if we take a look here, it says lose weight. That is the desire, and that is what people want. And then in bold, they say, even if you cheat. Now, again, why does that work? Well, it's because of this right here. Most Rise understands that a lot of people who try to lose weight, they can't sacrifice their diet, and that it takes a lot of effort because they have to eat clean and they constantly have to follow this strict thing and that strict thing. And over here, they're saying, hey, you can lose weight with our product even if you cheat. And now, is this a very, very bold claim? 100%. But the point is they understand their avatar. I want you to ask yourself think about it. If you're someone that constantly has cheat meals, or if you're someone that struggles to stay on a diet, do you think this ad is going to resonate with you? Yeah, obviously it is, right? And so that's, again, why understanding your customer and understanding the objections that they have, the effort, the sacrifice, and all the things that they have to go through to accomplish the desire is so powerful. So again, the reason why this ad is working so well is because the clear understanding of their avatar. Now, I want to take a look at another ad over here in regards to, again, signs you may be entering perimenopause, right? Stubborn weight and cravings, PMS and this, poor night sleeps, right? Again, clear understanding, authority driven, right? Another one here as well that shows myth versus fact. And this was actually more of a template that I just really liked because we have seen myth versus fact do well. And why does it do well? Again, if you see things doing well, you have to ask yourself, like, why? Why does this matter? Well, let's think about the customer, right? If you're someone that deals with bloating, right, and you see myth versus fact, you're probably going to be interested in seeing what it has to say, right? So myth, bloating after meals is normal. Fact, hormone support helps reduce bloating. And so this might be something where this really resonates with someone, because they might have a myth that it's normal to just feel bloated after you eat meals, whereas it's not true. Like, you just need hormone support. And so now all of a sudden they're actually able to tie that in to their product specifically, right? And so this ad seems so simple, yet I love this as a template and as inspiration for around specific beliefs that people might have and how you can kind of correct them, or how you can come in and, again, be an authority in your specific ad. And now this is something that you've probably heard me talk about time and time again, that being an authority is crucial for actually getting people to purchase from you, okay? So again, the more that you can be authority, the more success that you're likely going to have with your ads. And if you're like, well, Spencer, how do I become an authority? Just do more research. Do more research to actually understand what it is that you're selling and understand the person that you're selling to, because guess what? After you do that, you're educated. And when you're more educated, you're an authority, right? The reason why you might be listening to me is because you potentially see me as an authority. You've seen the case studies that I put out there. You see the amount of research and information that I collect, so that way I can share it with you guys, and you're probably listening because you have an authority bias, right? Now, am I the biggest authority in the space? Absolutely not. But the more I educate myself on how to scale, and the more proof that I have that what I do actually works to scale brands, the more I become an authority, okay? okay? And so at the end of the day, it's really just a lack of information that you're missing to become an authority. And then once you have that information, you can apply these strategies exactly how I'm going to show you again with the clone ad technique inside of Atria. Again, I know we're going through every single ad here. There are really 2 more ads that I really want to call out here. And now these aren't actual winning ads that I saw specifically inside of AdSpy or inside of Atria. I mean, this one has been running for 30 days. And this one, as you can see, I think it only ran for 1 day. But there's 2 other things that I want to call out with static ads specifically. And that's being visual. Use visual language to really hit home on specific things, especially if it's a product that people can't really feel, right? And so here's a perfect example for a soap company, or if you're someone that maybe sells scents or perfumes or whatever it may be. You can see here they're using a visual, kind of a bit of a play on words, a little bit of humor, but they're using a visual analogy to help people understand what this smells like, because you can't smell it, right? So as you can see here, they say smells like a good decision, right? But what I wanted to show you guys this ad for is to think about how else you can visualize that. How can you use language that is super visual? And a very good tip for this is whatever you write a headline, go into ChatGPT, or I would say better, go into Claude and ask it to use more visual language. And what I mean by visual language is by using language that creates a clear image in the user's head and ideally in your heads, right? So if I was to make an ad for this brand that sells soap specifically, I would say it smells like you just landed in Hawaii, right? That is very visual. Now, not everybody has been to Hawaii, but everybody can imagine what Hawaii is like. The palm trees, the nice breeze, you know, the ocean scent, right? They can visualize that and imagine and almost kind of smell it just by thinking about it. The brain is very powerful. It's very weird, but it's very powerful. And so whenever you can draw on something that is more visual, it really helps the user imagine it, and it helps them clearly see the product, right? Rather than just saying, this smells good, it's like, well, what is good, right? It's so hard to imagine or visualize that, right? But if you can be more descriptive in your statics, it can really help hit that point home. And then the final one over here, again, this is just another really visual ad that I love, right? Skincare that you can drink, right? It's like, what? It's like, that's a very interesting mechanism. And so in this instance here, again, they're leveraging this idea that you are able to, again, have a new mechanism where it's like skincare that you drink, but more importantly, again, it's more visual. It's very visual. It's like, well, how do I drink my skincare? Like, that's kind of interesting, right? Click. And again, that is the goal of most statics. You want statics that drive high intent clicks, but there's also a lot of times, again, if you have an extremely dialed landing page where you just want your static to get clicks. And now a lot of you guys might see statics suck up a bunch of spend and not get any performance. And a lot of times that means that you need to add a bit more of a conversion factor to your static to get more high intent clicks. But at the end of the day, it's very important to be visual and also showcase any new mechanisms that you can. And now the final ad that I wanted to pull up here is just an ad that for those of you that have a product that shows rather than tells, this ad is completely for you, because what I love about this ad is it's ripping, but more importantly, it is so simple. It is literally just a photo of 2 dogs laying in the bed. No context, no headline, absolutely nothing. It just looks like, you know, maybe your mom's friend posted this on her timeline. But then as you scroll up to the body copy, you can see it says your dog will absolutely love this. This bed relieves your dog's stress and anxiety and promotes a peaceful sleep. And so here, again, they're leveraging a tactic from, again, the best book in the world, Breakthrough Advertising, called Camouflage Advertising, where this just looks like a native feed that someone's friend would post. And yet you can see it is still selling the product. You have these 2 little cuties down here that are just fully sunk into the bed. They're so cozy, as you can see. It looks comfortable, right? They don't have to say anything here. They just need to let the product do the talking. And then again, if I'm looking at this and I want more information, I'm going to scroll up and see that your dog will absolutely love this. This bed relieves your dog's stress and anxiety. So again, the body copy provides 100% clarity. I see some of you guys try to be super, unique or super creative in the body copy. Just be clear. It's so much better to be clear rather than clever in the body copy. So here again, you can see skincare you can drink. And then what happens? I look up, your matcha just got a beauty routine upgrade. introducing the Sofa Tropica's exclusive white chocolate beauty matcha, the dream blend that has more chlorophyll, hydrates skin, and tastes creamy, right? So they're literally explaining exactly what it is in the actual body copy itself. And that is something that is just super underrated, that a lot of you guys just think that this up here doesn't matter. It really does. Okay. So I know we just spent about 30 plus minutes going through all of these statics, but hopefully you guys got something out of this, and hopefully you were able to pull a few different ideas. Okay. So we've got the final protein bar. Again, this is the bold claim and visually showing the desire. We've got the statistic style ads over here that you can see brands like 8 Sleep and brands like Grunz are running. We have the visual kind of like indirect avatar call out that again shows the old mechanism sucking with the new mechanism, and again really tapping in to a clear understanding of their avatar. Again, we've got another extremely bold call out ad over here as well. We've got the bold headline that removes sacrifice and effort. We have the authority driven ads, we have the visual ads, and then we have the show don't tell ads. Now there are a couple other ads in here that again you guys can see, and this board will actually be down below for you guys to check out as well and go deeper on. But now let's talk about the one thing that I'm sure most of you are probably waiting for. How do I one-click clone these ads for my brand? Well, let's go ahead and do it. So as you may have noticed while I was going through this, you can see over here that if you actually hover on this ad, you can actually clone it. And so what's really cool here is if we scroll down and let's maybe use the Grunz example over here. Now, so we're going to click clone ad. And as you can see, it's going to take us to Atria's clone page. And now what we're going to do is we're going to select one of our brands. And now if you don't have a brand set up in Atria, it's actually really easy to set up. And so what you're going to do is you're going to go into the brand section over here on Atria. You're going to go ahead and click create brand. And what's awesome as well is if you just want to put the actual URL link for your brand specifically, you can literally just put it in right here. So for example, I'll just use an e-commerce store here. So let's do Life In over here, and we're going to go ahead and click generate. And this is going to use credits. So there are a specific amount of credits that you guys will need to basically buy in order to use this stuff. But as you can see here, boom, it's got the brand logo, it's got the industry, it's got the website, it's got the product and service, it's got brand colors in here. Now you might need to adjust these based on the colors, and you might need to adjust the fonts and all that kind of stuff as well. Again, I'm not going to go through and show you guys how to fill this out or take the time to do this, but again, the more information that you put here, the better. And what I would also recommend as well is take all of your reviews, take all of your Facebook ad comments, take any customer feedback survey data that you have, take any market research that you've done, and actually create a Claude project. So again, if you don't know how to do that, just go into Claude and just give all of that into Claude. Again, Claude.ai is the writing tool that we use. And then what I would do is I would actually take a screenshot of these questions, and I would ask Claude, based on the information that it has, to actually then write out the product and service description and the target audience, because the better that this is, the better that the AI is going to be, which for those of you that don't know, like the more that you communicate with AI and the more context that you give it, the smarter it's going to be. A lot of you guys expect AI just to know your brand like you do, right? It doesn't. It needs the context. It needs the information. So again, try to provide as much as you can. So I'm going to go ahead and create this brand, and then boom, just like that, it's going to actually create the brand. Now, what's really cool here as well is you can actually plug in your ad account specifically to Atria too. Now, what's really dope about Atria as well is it actually has like a motion level of analytics for your creatives. And so you can actually link your ad account to this brand as well. So it actually has more data. So with that said, we're now going to go in and we are going to clone this ad. Okay. And so here I've actually selected CarePod as we have more data and the ad account actually connected to it. And what we're going to do is we're going to paste the product URL in here as well. And so I'm going to go ahead and paste in my product URL here, and it's actually going to generate the ad brief for me, which is really cool. But again, you can optimize this however you want. You can come in and you can use different images as well. You can see this automatically pulled images. It automatically has our brand colors, and I'm just going to go ahead and adjust the headline here as well. And let's just say we'll make this bold. And then again, what we're going to do here is you can see there's an option to do a 2x3, a 1x1, or a 3x2. And in this instance, because this is a more vertical ad, this is the ad that we're going to reference. And we're going to go ahead and literally with one button, we're going to generate 8 image ads. So let's go ahead and do that. And as you can see here, it's going to load for a little bit and it's going to come up with these ads. It usually takes about 2 to 3 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and pause, and then we're going to jump back in once these ads are actually done. All right. And now as you can see on screen, we have the 8 ads that Atria actually put together. Now, one thing I need to call out, and I might actually actually blur them, is that Atria is actually going to basically AI create some people at times and AI create the product. So for example here, there's this photo of the actual wand that goes in the care pod, and it just doesn't make any sense at all. And so AI still has a long way to go. And then if you actually take a look at this one over here, I don't even know what this product is. It's not even the care pod specifically. And so there are going to be issues with these, and I would highly recommend that you don't use these exact ads. Now, Atria does give you the ability to download it, but that is not what we do. What we actually do is we actually like to look at the headline specifically. And I'm going to call out one right away that I think is absolutely sick. And it says right here, 40% of humidifier owners don't clean theirs. And so that is something where now I have an idea. And the whole goal of how we use Atria, at least, is we like to go and then get this idea to do research after, right? So 40% of humidifier owners don't clean it. That is something where I'm going to go validate that. Number one, I need to go into research to actually figure out how many people on average don't actually clean their humidifiers. And then from there, guess what? I can send that to my team to then actually have them create an ad concept around this with the real data. This is something that Atria was able to create for me specifically. Like, I was not able to potentially make that connection just by looking at the context ad alone, but now I have an idea of 40% of humidifier owners don't clean it. That is just such a great headline that the AI has now come up with for me to then leverage. This is why it is so crucial for those of you that are just planning to have Atria basically create the ads for you, and then you just blindly download them and upload them into your ad account. Obviously, I can't stop you from doing that. And I didn't want to make this video telling you guys to do that because of two reasons. Number one, the thing is you actually have to know what is good and what is not. And you have to have a lens for what good looks like in order to actually be able to see ads that can scale and to pick the ads that you should upload into the ad account. But the second thing is that you don't actually learn a lot from just copying a brand's ad, using Atria to clone it, and then launching it into your ad account. You just don't learn anything from doing that. It's important for you to understand that at the end of the day, you don't want your skill set to be professional copy paster. You want to be a marketer. And so as much as I try to hold off on showing these copy and paste tools and all this kind of stuff, it is helpful and it does help expedite the process. And as you can see here, I just got a great ad idea for this brand. But the point is that I have spent so much time learning the marketing fundamentals and actually applying a lot of this stuff manually. So that way, when I have an actual skill set and I apply it with AI, I get outsized returns. Okay. But for you, if you're just copying and pasting and that's what you're good at, you don't have a skill set yet. And so I'd highly encourage you to try to lean into this stuff, try to learn and try to really double down on all of the other things that I have talked about around marketing, around research, around understanding customers and the market and the product and all of that kind of stuff. Because if you combine that with AI, that's how you see the biggest gains. Now, again, are there going to be those of you that just do this and upload the ads into your ad account? Of course. But at the end of the day, I want you guys to learn. And so that's the biggest thing from this video is I hope you were able to understand how specific statics are working and why they're working. So that way, if you do use this tool, it can help you combine the actual learnings from those ads to your brand specifically. And one thing that I want you to know is that if we actually go back through this board, there is not a single ad in here that actually has anything to do with humidifiers. None of these brands are actually direct competitors. They are just brands in completely different niches, okay? And so because of that, when I take an idea from another niche and I bring it over to my own, I'm essentially creating something new. Another example here is we actually just made an ad called The Final Humidifier. And that is something that we specifically imitated from this ad right here. So a lot of you guys might think like, how does a protein bar brand give inspo for a humidifier brand? It's because we're looking to see the deeper reason why. We're not looking to copy and paste our competitors. We want to crush our competitors. And if you're copying and pasting your competitors, they're beating you. Okay. And so I have found it easier to take ideas from other niches and other industries and bring them into my own instead of trying to replicate what my competitors are doing and only getting a small percentage of it. Or for example, having to one up my competitors, which might not be the easiest thing to do because a lot of times your competitors are bigger than you. And so if you look at other niches and bring something from a different niche into yours specifically, it can do really well. So that is it. That is my statics masterclass plus how to leverage AI to do some cool stuff inside of Atria. If you enjoyed this video and you want more, I do have a ton of different videos on my channel that talk about marketing fundamentals. I also have a huge case study that talks about how we did $10 million in 90 days. It should be pinned on my channel if you go and check it out. And I'd highly recommend that you watch that as well. With that said, if you want more hands-on support and you want to actually be a part of the biggest e-commerce community in Skool, you can check out the link down below. It's going to take you over to Evolve. And that really is for brands that are doing 100K plus a month that want to get to that next level by being a part of a community full of savages and get access to all the resources that we use to scale. Or if you're doing less than 100K per month, we actually just launched a brand new community as well. It is called Origins. And I'd highly recommend that you check that out down below. That's literally for anybody that, even if you don't have a brand or you have a brand and you're stuck at 10K per month, or you're just ultimately doing less than 100K, I would highly recommend that as well. We're doing our best to try to help as many of you as possible, because I understand that a lot of you guys that are watching these videos aren't maybe doing 300 or 400 or 500K per month. Okay, so hopefully we can help more of you with this new program that we have just launched. And as always, if you happen to be a brand that is in the tech space, or you have a very innovative product and you're just not sure how to market it and you need a team to market it for you, I'd highly recommend booking a time to speak with our agency. We are at full capacity, but there are times where we will actually consider subbing in brands based off of the opportunity that we see and the numbers that you currently have in your account and in your business. So if you are interested in having our team do this for you as well, I'd highly recommend checking that link out down below. So with all that said, that's all I've got to yap at you about. I hope you enjoyed this video and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.